If your art isn't cat butt quality checked, is it even art? Emily doesn't think so. So I guess she's just trying to help out. Anyways, I'm gonna... Emily, please move. Right, so I'm gonna put this epoxy sculpt from Aves on this canvas. After putting on my gloves, I'm gonna mix these two components together and then get out my aluminum foil because I'm gonna make a frame around this canvas. I've never done a frame around a painting. I mean, other than nailing some chunks of wood to the side. But that's boring and those don't count. I wanna do something cool. So what's something cool? Branches. Branches are cool, right? I mean, granted, you usually throw out branches when they fall into your yard, but that doesn't mean they're not cool. It just means that you don't want them in your yard. So to spruce up my branches, I'm gonna use a safety solvent. It reduces drag on your tools. And I'm gonna be dragging these tools a lot to make bark, but that's super tedious and you're probably really bored. So I'll speed through it. But hold on, look at this knot. It's a knotty branch. Get it? It's a knotty branch. Was that joke too sappy for you? You're right. It was a corny joke. All right, leave me alone. Tree puns are cool. Trust me, it's cool. And I'll just quickly show you how I did the other side. Pretty much the exact same way I did the first side. Only this time I got a little smarter. I sprayed it with some water. That way I could keep it moist. Ugh, okay, that's a terrible word. But I mean, like, what other word would I use in this situation? Dewy? Damp? Okay, actually damp works. Next time I'll use the word damp. So anyways, now I'm painting it black. Like my soul. And then I gave up trying to not hit the canvas, so I'm just gonna paint that too. Because I'm lazy. And taping it off sounded like a terrible idea. But knock on wood, I can still make it look good. With more paint, because paint fixes everything. Okay, maybe not everything, but like most things. Unfortunately for you, it doesn't fix my jokes. Anyways, I wasn't gonna leave this black. Actually, that could have been really awesome. Like the branches were charred in a fire. Ooh, and then I could have painted a fire in the middle. Dang it, next time I'll do that. Okay, now I flick some paint at it. Can't forget the ketchup. And of course the mustard. All right, I'm rooting for this painting. As for the middle, I'm kind of stumped. What would you like me to paint? I'm going out on a limb here and saying spirit animal? Maybe? I don't know. What do you think? Hey, remember this? Well, I'm actually finishing it. And this was my first idea. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. It's full of questionable design choices. I think I was going for an Alice in Wonderland feel, but it clearly got lost in translation. And what's with this house? How did it get in the tree? Nobody will ever know because I don't know. Maybe it was a tornado. Maybe it was built that way. Maybe you need to mind your business and not judge people where they put their houses. And don't even talk to me about the teapot. No, seriously, don't talk to me about it because we're not talking about this embarrassment of a painting again. That's right, I'm painting over it. It never existed. Just wipe it from your memory. It never existed. Okay, new intro. Hey guys, welcome back. Remember when I made that tree branch frame? Well, I'm finally finishing it. And since I'm such an amazing artist who totally doesn't come up with terrible ideas and then paints over them, I mean, that's even just a weird thing to say because I don't do that. In fact, I'm using my very first awesome idea because I'm awesome. I mean, that wasn't supposed to be a question. I meant I'm awesome. Hey, how am I doing? Did you buy it? I mean, anyway, back to this painting. So I started off with background. Here's my background. And now I'm just painting a land octopus because that's something that exists. This land octopus looks like it's out grazing on its octopus farm. A lot of people don't know that land octopuses, or is it octopi? Octopice? Anyways, a lot of people don't know that they can stand up to 100 feet tall, thus making it difficult on octopus farmers to house them in their standard barns. So that makes land octopus farms pretty controversial. That's probably why you haven't heard of them. You see, Big Octopus has covered it up. I mean, where do you think the ink comes from for your pins? Also, you ever wonder where suction cups come from? That's right, octopus farms. I mean, don't Google it because I'm here to expose the truth and I would never lie about this. So no reason to Google anything that I'm saying. Anyways, they should be released back into the woods where they obviously came from. So if you agree, you should comment on this video. That way we can expose the land octopus industry. And there's no other motive for you to comment on this video. I mean, except to tell me if you like this painting. That would be nice. Hey, you want to see something cool you can do with a balloon? No, Edgar, those aren't yours. Okay, no, that wasn't the cool thing. I'm making a paper mache heart. First, I have to get this stupid rubber band on. Get on the balloon. Oh, this shouldn't be so hard. I hate this balloon. Okay, finally. All right, let's tape this sucker down. You're not moving. And now for the fun part. Here's a good tip. If you can't open your Mod Podge, whack it. Sometimes it takes a few more whacks than expected, but it will eventually open up. See, there you go. The news has been pretty depressing lately, so rather than read it, I'm gonna use it as paper mache. Christmas isn't depressing, so let's add Christmas lights. Psych, Christmas is depressing. And this box is empty. I'm just using it to add those little things to the top of my heart. What are they called? Arteries? Veins? You know, those little nubby things on top of a heart. I mean, I know they're not actually nubby things, but whenever you see a picture of a heart, they always look like nubby things. And there she is, my paper mache heart. I could have stopped here, but I was hyper-focused. Actually, in the moment, I was hyper-focused on taking this glue off my hands. But after I satisfied the glue peel troll that lives in my brain, I wanted to add a hand like it was ripping the heart out of someone's chest. Because let's be honest, that's way more entertaining anyway. And a little bit of wire and foil later, I covered it in this marshmallow fluff clay that I hate. But I'm cheap and I won't throw it away. It is the last of it and I will never buy it again. All right, let's hot glue it into this candlestick. Okay, we're gonna have to do something about those wrists. They're looking a little weak. Since I ran out of the terrible marshmallow fluff, I used this other clay, which is actually an epoxy clay, unlike the poser I was using. And I'm glad I did, because this one's so much stronger. Like, there's no comparison. And every hand needs some fingernails. Oh, different kind of fingernails? Not in my video. And here I am, just living out my dream to be a heart surgeon. I'm just kidding, I'd never want to be a heart surgeon. That is way too much responsibility. Also, I'm pretty sure being a heart surgeon and having ADHD would be a bad combo. I'd be like, oh, here's the heart I'm supposed to work on. Oh, is that your pancreas? Let me stitch my initials in it. And then the hospital would get sued, and then I would get sued. And because I have ADHD, I'd forget about the court hearing, and then I'd wind up in prison. And I am not built for prison. Trust me. I am poop shy as it is. I cannot poop in front of other people. And this is why I'm not a heart surgeon, not because I'm not smart enough, right? Seriously, right? Okay, now I'm just adding some yummy details. Ooh, look at those bubbles. Okay, I want it to look like oxidized copper. So I'm adding this bluish green coat and then wiping it off. And we got to do some foil. I love foil. I'm obsessed with it. I mean, look, I can't stop foiling. Everything needs to be foiled. Okay, let's move on. I have these butterfly wings. I thought they'd be a good addition. However, they are fragile, like my heart. Don't go breaking my heart. Okay, sorry. So I covered them in resin and made them harder and less fragile. And then I chained them to the heart. And this is where I need your guys' help. I don't know what to put in the middle of this heart. I thought maybe a paper crane or an eyeball. I don't know. You guys always have such good ideas. I could really use your help. Okay, listen up. I'm making a human brain today. Why am I sculpting a human brain? Well, my sister-in-law, Natalie, who's awesome by the way and is new to TikTok, so go follow her, commissioned me to sculpt one for one of her photos. And that's right up my alley, so I said yes. You saw me create those tinfoil kidney beans. I'm just flattening this clay to wrap around it. And I'm gonna be honest, I screwed up on the first one. I thought I'd get fancy and make the brain split in half and hold together with magnets. However, my stupid scatterbrain forgot she needed a hole in the bottom for displaying purposes. And also I didn't use enough magnets and the thing fell apart. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I'm gonna need to start over. And on take 2, I'm not going fancy this time. I'm making a whole brain. Now a little stabby and a wee. Okay, moving on. I felt like it needed reinforcement, so I'm violently jamming this glass jar inside. And we've all seen a brain get wrapped in clay before, so I'll just speed through this. And ta-da, brain wrapped. Okay, now I have to cover it in folds. And the easiest way to do that is just roll out a bunch of snakes and coil them on. Did I say a bunch of snakes? Okay, 1, that phrase is terrifying. And 2, I meant a bunch. Look at all these. Holy crap, look at them all. Okay, Ashley, they get the idea. All right, let's add that little lump on the back. And there's my amazing camera skills again. You think it'd be easy to center a camera, but apparently I have difficulties. Here's the best video I had before I painted it. And speaking of paint, here's the paint. So I just started with a dark color to get into all the little cracks. And then I just used canned air to blow it in further, which, you know, kind of worked. Okay, it's looking really good. However, Natalie wanted her brain to be more fleshy rather than pink, and I can't get my brain wrapped around that, pun intended. So I repainted this a couple times. Could this be considered brainwashing? Oh man, there's so many good brain puns. Anyways, here's what I ended up with. Hopefully she likes it. I am curious about what she's going to do, so go follow her and see what she does with it. And can you brainstorm on what I should do with this extra brain? Because I'm lost. Okay, I have a weird one today. Or I guess a weird one for me, because I don't usually use these colors, and maybe I shouldn't have, because the outcome is questionable at best. But I'll let you decide. I picked up a couple of these round canvases, and I was trying to think what else is round. And the first thing that popped in my head was a disco ball. Actually, that's not true. The first thing that popped in my head was an eyeball, but I've definitely done that. I don't know, maybe I should just stick to what I know. I don't know why I went outside my style for this. And the icing on the cake is after I painted this monstrosity of colors, an artist popped up on my Instagram that does this exact thing, only 100 times better. I don't know if I subconsciously saw it in the past and copied her idea without knowing, or if while I was Googling disco balls for references, Instagram pulled that and showed me her art. Anyways, hers are way better, so I gotta change mine to make it different. How do I change it? Well, remember that brain that I did for Natalie, my sister-in-law, and then screwed it up just like I'm screwing this up? So I ended up with an extra brain. Well, what if I just put it in the middle of this canvas? Just slap it right in the middle of it. Well, I mean, let's paint it first. Although I had a lot of trouble settling on a design. First, I tried these drips of paint, and I hated it. So then I think out of frustration, I just flung paint at it. A whole lot of paint. I think it was at this point that I was just done with this project, because it sat on my shelf for a while before I decided that paint fixes everything, and I flung some more paint at it. Okay, now that we're like 7 layers thick in paint, I decided maybe paint isn't the answer, but foil might be. And with nothing to lose, I foiled the brain. So bam, a little bit of glue later, scrape, splat, stick. There it is, my disco brain. All right, remember in the beginning when I said decide for yourself? Here's your moment, because I'm on the fence with this one, but maybe because it's not my usual style. What do you guys think? Since it's Halloween, I'm gonna make the scariest thing I can think of. And what is the scariest thing I can think of? No, it's not Edgar. Stupid cat. It's demon cows. I know that's what you thought I was gonna say. But specifically, the Cow King from Diablo, even though the cow level's a lie. And if you've been to it, you're a liar. Because it does not exist. Or does it? Anyways, here's me putting some flesh on my demon cow. Don't worry about the cow behind him. Because remember, cows don't kill people. Everything else does. He's just a plastic cow. Probably. And we can't forget the udder. He'd be utterly useless without an udder. Is that where their demonic powers are from? Diablo, we're gonna need some clarification on this. I mean, if demon cows existed, because they don't. And the cow level's a lie. All right, our cow needs a nose ring. Don't worry, this won't hurt. Okay, maybe a little. Ooh, he's looking pretty handsome. Wait a second. If he has udders, does that make him a she? I guess this is the demon cow queen. I am utterly sorry. I didn't realize you were a female. In fact, our cow might be in love. Hey, let's keep this PG. Oh, do you know why cows have hooves? Because they lactose. All right, all we need is some skulls. Because this is Diablo, and Diablo has a lot of skulls. And lava, lots of lava. And all demons have horns. All right, let's slather her in paint. And the most important part, her red eyes. Yeah, maybe they're just bloodshot. Maybe she's not a demon at all. Because there are no demon cows in Diablo. But if there were, she would need a crown. Not a halo, a crown. Don't worry, I'll fix it. With this precious metal. Because it's gold. Can't you tell? It's gold. Look, I didn't have the budget for real gold, okay? Use your imagination. And here I am crowning the queen. Cow got a little jealous, so I made him a crown too. Trust me, we don't want to anger Cow. I mean, not that cows kill people. That would be silly. Right, so let's give Cow a weapon. Here, Cow, you pick the weapon. Good choice. Here, let's make it a little more weapony. What do you think, Cow? It's Cow approved. It just needs blood. Ah, it looks pretty good. Okay, we just need to reassure everybody, and say it with me, that the cow level is a lie, and that demon cows don't exist. So I'm making a plaque. Because if it's written on a plaque, it's gotta be true. I think that checks out. All right, let's give her weapon, and she's finished. What do you think? And just a friendly reminder that the cow level does not exist. See, it's written on this plaque. So don't go looking for it in any of the Diablo games, because that would be an utter waste of time. So I bought this box at Michael's for $2.49. It was just missing its legs, which wasn't an issue for me. And luckily, this price tag came off pretty easy. Unlike the second leg. Get off. All right, you're making me look bad. Finally, I threatened it off with tools. I'm not quite sure what to paint this, so I'm just kind of buying time by painting it all white. I'm hoping some ideas will come to me while I paint, and luckily they do. So my idea for this box is to paint it like an artist. So the outside is going to be creative but mute. Let me explain. A lot of us artists have some crazy creative energy, but you normal people have a hard time handling our energy. So we tone it down on the outside. But on the inside, we're crazy and creative. And we have ideas flowing all the time. They're not always good ideas, but they're flowing. There's stuff going on. It's colorful in there. I don't know, maybe I'm putting too much thought into this box, but it's what I came up with, and so I'm going to try to execute it. So now that I have a nice white surface, I'm going to dry it like normal with the heat gun. And seriously, E6000 needs to pay me for all the free advertising I give them. So I'm gluing on all this artsy fartsy stuff like brushes and old paint tubes and buttons. And I got this wood cutout from Dollar Tree, 3 for $1. And I thought it was cute. And now I'm hot gluing this rope around the edge to give it a border. Now I want to do the handles as spools of thread, so I have to cut this wooden spool in half. I'm sure that there was a safer, easier way to cut this. However, I couldn't think of any, and this is what I had. Now pay attention, this is where it gets scary. Yeah, the blade broke and threw the spool across the room. Luckily, nothing was hurt but my pride. So with one broken blade, I had to move on to other methods of cutting this spool in half. And none of them were really effective except for this razor blade and smash method. It's not the most elegant way, but it worked. Okay, so I said that the outside of artists are muted. We're not boring, and these handles were boring, so they had to go. And no, I didn't just order Chinese food. I'm just kind of a hoarder, and I saved these chopsticks. So let's be honest, all artists are kind of hoarders. Okay, moving on. I used the chopsticks to hold the spool of thread while I wood glued it together. And it worked pretty well, unlike this glue top that fell off. Stupid wood glue. This wouldn't happen with E6000. E6000, pay me. And now I'm going to move on to the other two handles. And since I don't really want to experience my life flashing before my eyes again by cutting another spool of thread, I'm going to do this stick. Yeah, that was much easier to cut. And ignore the fact that it's orange. It came from another project that I had, and I'm cannibalizing it. Yes, I know outside is filled with sticks I could have gotten that weren't orange, but you know what? Who cares? It's fine. Move on. Move on from the orange stick. All right, I think that looks pretty good. And now it's time for the muting. I'm going to paint the whole box black. And I think you've heard me talk enough, so you've reached the music portion of this video. Enjoy. I told you, keep your guard up. Okay, music portion over. I'm just going to dry brush some gold around the outside. And like most artists, I don't want to show you what's on the inside just yet. I want it to be a surprise because artists are very private when it comes to our art. So don't twist my arm. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you. Stop asking. Oh, you really want to see? All right, fine. But I'm going to explain it to you like an artist would. Here's a stupid rainbow because whatever, rainbows. These are the eyes of my soul and the elephant inside my brain that tells me to do things. What do you mean you don't have a happy little elephant inside your brain that tells you to do things? Obviously, there's something wrong with you and you need to take medication for that. And here are the scribbles of my frustrations. And everything's better with sprinkles. Remember how I said that artists don't always have good ideas? Well, that tree was me running out of good ideas. However, I think the rest of the box turned out well. I'm not going to let one turd in the bunch ruin the whole box. But as always, let me know what you think. Okay, here's a story about how my ADHD sucks and doesn't let me finish projects. I made this puppet years ago, and I've never made a puppet before. So I did all the research. I hand sewed his little body and sculpted his hands and feet. I even learned how to string him up. I had no idea how to do that. I had to learn a whole new skill. He took me days to make. And when it came to the last little step, probably the easiest part of making this puppet, I lost interest. My ADHD troll said nope. Well, today I'm giving the finger to my ADHD troll. I'm finishing this puppet. All he needed was a heart, so I'm making him one out of clay. However, every time I work with clay, these stupid nails get in the way. And I know how much you like to watch me cut my nails, you weirdos. There, much better. Okay, back to the heart art. I'm just adding the little nubbies, and of course the holes in the nubbies. Can't forget the veins. And I'll just speed through this because you get it. And there she is, one teeny tiny clay heart. After baking, it's time for painting. And unfortunately, the power went out while I was filming this. So instead of nice lighting, we're gonna have dramatic shadows. In other words, just poorly lit. Sorry about that. I'll be writing a strongly worded letter to my power company. Just kidding. And there's my finished heart. Let's put it in. And since the power's out, Edgar, I had to do it in this little sun ray. Unfortunately, Edgar thinks he owns it.
Seriously.
I just glued it in with some E6000, and now my puppet's finally finished. It feels good to finish a project that's been on my list for years. I don't know why I'm like this. I have a pile of projects that are almost finished, and yet I've lost interest. Does anybody else have that problem? Hey, want to see me make an anglerfish? I got this lamp at Dollar Tree. And yes, it does look like the Loch Ness Monster. I know, whenever an art video starts off with, I got this at Dollar Tree, the end result is usually questionable. And I'm not going to promise that this video is going to be any better. Don't get me wrong, I've seen some great Dollar Tree DIYs. But when you start with junk, you usually end with junk. And I am using all sorts of junk in this project. Like these chopsticks that I hoarded. Because I hoard chopsticks, okay? How else would I live out my drummer dreams? Buy a drum kit? I don't think so. Do you realize I have ADHD? And drums would just gather dust in the garage. And then my husband would get angry because he can't park in the garage. I mean, I'm not giving up my spot. And then we get divorced, and I don't want to get divorced. Just let me hoard the chopsticks, okay? All right, back to this fish. She's looking pretty rough, but that's okay. We'll use this oil to oil her down. Wow, she looks so young. Do you think this oil works on humans? Asking for a friend. All right, she needs some various fins and some texture. I was gonna use these keys for the teeth, but as you can tell, they were too big, so I took them out and went with toothpicks instead. And for the sake of time and our patience, I'll speed through this. I wouldn't make you watch anything that I wouldn't want to watch, but I will show you these cool details. See, my goal is to make this cheap Dollar Tree lamp into something fancy. So I'm adding as much detail as I can so you can't even tell it came from Dollar Tree, but that's where it came from. Did I mention that? It came from Dollar Tree for $1. Actually, no, not anymore. It's like $1.25, right? Dang, Dollar Tree jacking up their prices. Okay, I'm just adding these glass discs that I got from Axman's. Has anybody been to Axman's? Or is that just a Minnesota thing? It's basically a whole store with junk. I'm not exactly sure where they get their junk. I would be curious because everything kind of looks used, but not really. Kind of like they raided a doll factory and they're only selling the left arms because that was extra. I don't know. It's really weird. And everything there has really clever labels, like these exit signs that they're selling as stencils. Anyways, I painted this chunk of wood that I saved when my husband had to drill a hole in the house. I mean, it's good wood. I'm not going to throw that away. Like I said, I'm a hoarder. So I sealed it with some cheese, and that will be a good base for my lamp. And have you noticed anything that's fancy gets these little pads? So that's what I'm doing. Because remember, this is a fancy Dollar Tree lamp. I plan on at least doubling my money. Was that $2.50? All right, this video is getting long, and I know I don't have the attention span, so let's speed through this. I added a coat of paint, attached all the teeth, and then dry brushed it bronze. The brown base seemed a little boring, so I painted it red, just to match the eyes. All right, let's check that this lamp works. It does. And there she is in all her glory. You can even take the head off for easy access to the batteries. But the question is, do we have Edgar's approval? I think he likes it, but I think he likes all fish. What do you think? I mean, I don't think it's the worst Dollar Tree DIY I've seen. Actually, I think I'm kind of proud of it, but don't tell anyone. Are you sure you want more? Because I have it. I'll have more. I got lots of teeth and eyeballs now. So what's creepier than an eyeball surrounded with teeth? I'd say that's pretty creepy. It's like the eyeballs peeking out of someone's mouth. Ooh, look, I have chills. Do you think this creature has an eyeball in its mouth? Or did it swallow somebody with an eyeball? Or maybe it swallowed its own eyeball. Or hold on, it's an eyeball on a creature and they implanted teeth around it for beauty purposes? I don't know. I guess it doesn't need a story. It can just be creepy on its own. I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The truth is, I think it looks breathtaking. Though if we don't see eye to eye on this, it's understood and I don't have any more eye puns. I tried to do something with irony, but I couldn't do it. Unless I couldn't do it? No, that's not good either. I should definitely not be a comedian. Hey guys, want to see how I make my brush ladies? Get yourself a bag of the cheapest brushes you can find and paint them all black. Once you have your black brushes, it's time to mix up the fleshy tones. Here's how I do mine. Flesh tones usually include white, blue, yellow, and red. Now that we have various shades of flesh, start smearing it on your brushes. And that's how you make brush ladies. And now go out and impress your friends with your new skills. Follow me for more easy to follow tutorials. So somebody saw that I make teacup spiders and she contacted me on Etsy for a commission, but not just for a teacup spider. Oh no, this is special. I guess she has a vintage doll head that may or may not be haunted. We don't know. But I mean, it does have human teeth. Here's a picture of it. Do you think it's haunted? I think it is. She did not confirm or deny its haunted possibilities. But anyway, she decided it needed legs. And I agree. I mean, it's got to get around somehow. And when it does get around, we don't want it to slip. So that's why I'm scoring the inside of this head holder. You know, the place where you put the head. All right, onto the legs. And you've definitely seen me make these wired legs before, so I'll skip past it. Haha, I'm Ashley Spider Hands. All right, moving right along. I drew a line and another line and a whole bunch of lines. Okay, you get it. All right, these sticks need to be flatter. Commence with the flattening. It's been flattened. Time to work out my aggressions, which I have to recommend is good therapy. Let me just check this glue gun. We're locked and loaded and ready to glue these on. Stick, glue, stick, glue, stock, and so on and so forth. All right, this spider's got a bare butt. The only thing to do is to cover it in clay. I don't know why I did that so dramatically, but we'll move along. So I thought our spider could use a baby spider because it's cute and I had leftover clay. Okay, doing a little spider yoga. Aw, and there he is. One cute spider. Let's attach him to the belly of our spider. Now these legs need to get in shape. There we go. And now I'm just gonna do a montage of me covering these legs with clay. It's a spider montage. Do 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 do. Okay, here's my spider with all its clay. Now let's do a painting montage. Just kidding. I wouldn't put you through that again. I want you to follow me, not unfollow me. Which reminds me, are you following me? I mean, I'm not asking you to follow me, but it would be really cool if you did. It's okay, I can wait. Did you follow me? I assume you did. Let's continue. So the spider wasn't looking punk enough. Goth enough? Evil? I don't know. It just needed something. So I did some chains, like my wallet that I had in high school. Is that showing my age? Kids don't do this anymore, do they? I know, I thought I was super cool in high school when I did it, but that was a million years ago. Anyways, here's what it looks like all finished. I added some bronze highlights. And she didn't actually send me the head, so this is the closest thing I have. But she did send some pictures that I'll show you in a minute. But I can't decide if I like it like this or like this. I guess I like it both ways, but I think this way is my favorite. Oh, and here's the bottom. And then here's the pictures that she sent me. And what do you think? I think it turned out well. My customer was happy, and I think the haunted doll head was happy too.